Yo, 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 what's going on, homies? Look, I got a quick question for you. Is it time for you to start playing Tower of God New World? Well, if you're watching this video, then you're probably sitting on the fence thinking maybe, but I'm here to turn that maybe into a definite yes. So without wasting any more time, let's enter the tower and let's break it down. Now, before we begin actually talking about the game, I want to take some time to talk about the history or the series that is Tower of God. Created by SIU back in 2010, Tower of God follows the story of Baum, the guy that I have here on screen, and his journey to follow his friend Rachel, who enters the tower just shortly before Baum does. Now, once Baum enters the tower, he quickly realizes that in order for him to progress to follow Rachel, he's going to have to make allies with people he's never met before, because in order to climb up the tower, you're going to need to pass a bunch of tests or missions in order to progress to the next floor. As you, the reader, slowly come to realize while reading the story, you recognize Baum is obviously a very special individual, but the people in the story also recognize this as well, which makes it even harder for Baum to climb because everybody wants to use Baum for their own goals. And the beauty behind the story is that you come to learn that in this tower, it is incredibly huge. It's got its own form of magic known as Shinsu. There are a bunch of different races such as dwarves, witches, and alligators. Each floor of the tower is governed by a supreme being known as an administrator. And what makes the story even more rich is that mostly everybody who is actually in the tower has one common goal, and that is to reach the top floor of the tower. Which is why Tower of God New World is going to be such a great game for one, the story mode. Now, if you've never read the manhwa or you've never watched the anime, the story mode within this game is absolutely phenomenal. But it's absolutely phenomenal for one reason and one reason only. The fact is, you do not miss anything from within the manhwa through playing the story mode of this game. Now, you might be thinking, well, of course, that's the whole point of story mode. But this isn't necessarily the case for a lot of different games. I mean, there are games that I've played before in the past where you go through the story mode and they only give you the major cutscenes or the major plot points. This game so far, as I've gone through the story, has actually shown me even the conversations between side characters that all contribute to the end goal of the story, which is amazing simply because usually most characters that you meet in Tower of God, whether it's for a short period of time or a long period of time, play or do have some relevance to the end goal of the story. I mean, right now on my screen, there's a battle between Anak and Hats, which was the beginning of the floor of tests, and it just led to such a great story plot for just the two of them because they ultimately end up becoming a team. Now, this game features a wide array of game modes, such as the story mode I mentioned to you before. We have the adventure, which is actually climbing through the tower. And then we have expedition, which gives us a bunch of little game modes. But at the end of the day, the game does function as a team versus team battler. What that means is you're going to have to summon for characters in order for you to build a team that you take into battle, just like in the actual story. And as I mentioned before, each character is going to be unique in their abilities and styles. So part of the beauty of playing this game is finding a character that you like and building a team that enhances that character's qualities. I mean, as you can expect, if I go into a battle versus a fully well decked out team and I go in with only support units, I'm probably always going to get rocked. There's going to be power and combat levels that are going to play a huge role into this game, not to mention the fact of color differentials, where one color might be doing 50% more damage against another color. But all of those come into play as to how you define and build out your team. So it's going to take some constant strategies, some constant retweaking and repositioning in order to come up with the best unit or best formation to get past that level. So if I navigate over to teammates, here's the list of all the characters that I have currently summoned. And if I go ahead and click on one, still like Baum, because I'm talking about him the most, here's his character page. You'll see every character page is slightly the same. You'll be able to equip them with different pieces of equipment in order to help build their strength, increase their HP, their accuracy and evasion. You'll be able to take a look at all their skills. Every unit has a passive skill, 2 active abilities, and 1 special move. You'll be able to limit break your character, meaning summoning for more copies of the same unit so that you can ultimately limit break them to get stronger and increase their pocket certificate proficiencies, giving them extra bonuses on the back end. You'll also be able to increase your character's proficiency, reaching a max level of 10. Once your character does reach a max level of 10 proficiency, they will then have access to their exclusive equipment, which then grants them even more skills or capabilities, essentially add-ons to their passive, special move, or even their active abilities. Then, of course, we have rapport, which is, your character's friendliness and helps you with your gaining swiftness. And ultimately, you get this cool little banner at the top of it once you have got your character to the max level rapport. Now, I did mention summon, so I also have to mention one key thing. At the end of the day, guys, this game is a gacha game, meaning there is going to be some form of luck associated to how you play the game and what you get out of the game. But Tower of God New World gives us a pretty cool feature. It gives us this rate up feature. And the way this works is I can select one unit to be my #1 most rated character. Then after that, I can select 4 other units that will also be my 4 rated unit characters. What this means is these 5 units will ultimately have a higher % chance of being summoned whenever I roll for new summons. And right now you see I have Bomb in my top slot, Huarun and Dorsey, Yellowy, and my boy Amigo Chaz in my back 4 line. So these units have the highest % chances of me rolling them when I roll. And as you can see here, we have the rates in terms of percentages. Now we have the SSR plus units at 0.029%. Then we scroll down, we see my boy Bomb at 1.8, and Dorsey, Huarun, Amigo, and Yellow all at 4.5. And then we have the Rack and everyone below that back at 0.029. So the rate up system is very, very good. I do wish you could use the rate up system on SSR plus characters, but I mean, let's be honest, SSR plus characters are high rankers and they honestly break the game if you have 1, 2, or even 3 of them on your team and you build them out correctly. Which brings us now to the values of each unit. As you'll see here on my page, I have units that are Rs, I have units that are SRs, then we have SSR units. Obviously, your R ranked units are going to be your less than ideal units. You'll want to bring them into battle. Will some of them have a great use case? Of course they will, but not all of them will ever get any further. But then you have your SSR plus units, like the guy I have here on screen, Evan. And these SSR plus units are amazing because they do things such as grant you immortality, add stallness to being a tank, or ultimately do just copious amounts of huge damage. So you're definitely going to want to try to get one SSR plus unit, if not all of them. But do note that, again, if you want to build your characters and make them strong, you're going to need to limit break them over time, which means pulling for multiple copies of the same SSR unit. In my case right here, I'm definitely going to keep trying to pull for Evan because he's going to act as my support / healer on my team. Now, another reason why you should start playing Tower of God New World simply is the fact that you don't have to work too hard to get far in this game. And what do I mean by that? Well, Tower of God New World gives you a loot type system. And the way that this loot type system works is your characters are obviously going to be doing little battles against these, I guess, hermit crabs or whatever the heck they are at the end of the day. And each time they progress through a level with these hermit crabs, you are getting loot, such as consumable coins, Shinsu, or even EXP. And over time, as time goes on, you will gather more and more of this. If I go ahead and select claim, I now gather all of those rewards. And if I've gathered enough, let's say EXP, then I'll even go ahead and level my character, gaining other reward bonuses on the background. But you can also note that we have the ability to obtain loot quickly. Here, I'd be able to accumulate 2 hours worth of rewards instantly for free at my first use case. And if I were to go try to do it again, I could still get 2 hours worth of rewards. However, it's now going to cost me 50 suspendium, which is one of the currencies within this game. When we take a look at the bag, we'll be able to look at each one of these pieces of consumables in detail. So we have Shinsu here being used to upgrade your Shinsu link. We have experience, of course, also used to upgrade your Shinsu link. And then we also have coins. Coins can be used to upgrade your Shinsu link, as well as buy stuff out of the normal store or the workshop store as well. Speaking of Shinsu links, such a pretty game. So, speaking of Shinsu links, what are they exactly? Well, each unit in this game, on top of leveling up their proficiency, on top of increasing their rapport, on top of ultimately limit breaking them, also has a Shinsu link, which can be focused or thought of in two ways. You have grades and then you have levels. So as you'll see here on my screen, I have a grade C under my character Arc Raptor, grade D, grade D, grade D, and a grade D1 throughout the rest of my units. But then there's also a level beneath each one. So Arc Raptor being at level 80, all my other slots are in my 60s. When you increase your Shinsu link, you are alternatively increasing the skill and the strength of your character. So at this current point in time, anybody that's in my slot for my levels, my grade C level 80 is going to get a 947% boost on their health, on their attack, as well as on their defense. So usually you want to use this, your highest grade Shinsu link, for your main DPS unit. Now there are varying conversations between, is it best to have everyone at the same level increasingly over time, or is it best to have one unit ahead and 4 units behind? Well, I'm going to test all those out, and I'm going to come back to you and give you my best tips and strategies for how you should proceed with your own Shinsu links when you're progressing through the game itself. So we've talked about the story mode. We've talked about what the game alternatively is and how it functions. We talked about consuming and how you power yourself up in the game. And of course, we talked about the gacha ruling. But one of the beautiful parts about this game itself is the beauty. Here I have myself running a battle with a couple of my characters, and I'm playing Tower of God off of my phone, and you cannot lie by saying that, hey, it's not a pretty game. I mean, all the status effects, whether it's a debuff or a grand attack, or ultimately just, even an auto attack shot by a character in his umbrella, look absolutely stunning and brilliant, which is another great reason to play this game. I mean, I for one am not someone who cares if a game has the most latest graphics or anything of the sort. However, one of the cool things that does make me want to play a game is if it's just stunning overall, which Tower of God New World definitely is, right? So if you are someone who has a device that's able and capable of playing this on highest spectrums and graphics, I would definitely state you should give it a try, because it is a joy to watch, especially when you turn on the cutscenes for your characters and they're going through their special animations. So with all that being said and done, what are your thoughts about Tower of God New World? I mean, I'm going to continue playing the game because I am definitely a huge fan of this series, but I'm also going to be providing you guys content such as new characters that we should be looking forward to out of the manhwa, different tips and strategies, best characters under certain situations, or best value characters when you are someone who is not a whale. I'm definitely going to be playing this as a free to play player. That's why you see here, I still have my first buy here. But at the end of the day, I'm going to show you everything that there is to learn about Tower of God and give you some thought-provoking, insightful analyses to help you build up your best team. Anyways, homies, that's my review on Tower of God New World. Now, this current account that you're looking at is a couple of days in, I believe. Yep, it is 10 days in, but I have not been progressing too much within the game because I wanted to do some research, understand some content that I might be creating for later analysis videos and all that fun stuff. So if you're looking forward to me doing some rerolls and summons and just see if I get super lucky or I get super boned, definitely come back and check my channel. But hey, are you guys planning on playing Tower of God New World? If you are, leave a comment in the section below. Let me know the things that you're looking to try out, things that have worked for you, and the characters that are carrying you through the tower. Have a great day, homies. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.